Now we're going to talk about some more properties of addition: the commutative property, the associative property, and the identity property. Maybe these you've heard of before. So let's first talk about the commutative property. And notice there's no N. It's not commutative, it's commutative. Like when you commute, that means you travel, right? You move from one location to another. So the commutative property says that the numbers you're adding together can travel or change location, and you'll get the same answer. So it says that A plus B is the same thing as B plus A, and we know this already. 2 plus 3 is the same thing as 3 plus 2. The order doesn't matter. So if you'll notice, it goes A then B, and over here it goes B then A. See how the numbers moved? That's the commutative property. So the numbers move. Think of it that way. The associative property just changes who is associated with who. So if you have a string of addition here, a string of numbers, A plus B plus C, we have this thing called the order of operations, or PEMDAS. We'll talk about it later. But it says that you'd always do what's in parentheses first. So what's in parentheses first is the A plus B. So we would add those, then we would add C. If you look at the other side, you'll notice that the parentheses changed. So instead of the A and the B being associated, now it's the B and the C that are associated. So you would add the B and the C together first, then add the A. What this property says is that you're going to get the same answer no matter which way you do it. So the parentheses are going to move. So you'll notice the numbers stay in the same order. They go ABC, ABC, but what's changing is who is associated with who. So when you see the parentheses move but the numbers stay in the same order, that's the associative property. The last property is the identity property, and it basically just says if you add 0 to a number, that number retains its identity. It doesn't change. Its identity is not changed. A plus 0 is the same thing as 0 plus A. That's commutative, which is equal to A. So the additive identity, it's what you can add and retain the number's identity. So adding 0 is the additive identity. So let's look at a couple examples and let's figure out which property justifies the following. So I have 1 plus 2, in parentheses, plus 4, is the same thing as 1 plus 2 plus 4. So do you see how it goes 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4? So it's not the commutative property. None of the numbers moved. The parentheses just shifted. So that would be the associative property. Make sure when you abbreviate that, you use enough letters that you don't spell something you're not intending to spell. Just FYI, okay? I'll just write it out. That's the best thing to do. Just write it out. So the parentheses moved on this one. Look at B. 5 plus 3 equals 3 plus 5. So we know that. Both sides are equal to 8. But do you see how the numbers moved? It went 5, 3, and then 3, 5. That's commutative property. Eight plus 2 plus 9 equals 2 plus 8 plus 9. Now, just because there's parentheses doesn't necessarily mean it's the associative property. Look at the order of the numbers. 8, 2, 9. 2, 8, 9. Do you see how the parentheses actually stayed? It was the order inside the parentheses that changed, so that's commutative. And then for the last one, we have 2 plus 7, and then 3 plus 5. And over here you can see that the parentheses moved and just came around the 7 and the 3. 2, 7, 3, 5, 2, 7, 3, 5. The order is the same, the parentheses moved. That's the associative property. All right. And one more little example here. It says fill in the blanks with the appropriate property that was used. Okay, 2 plus 8 plus 3 plus 4. They're saying that that is equal to 8 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. So what I'm noticing is that the order here changed from what it originally was. So that would be commutative. And then as I go from this line to this line, I have 8, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4. The numbers stay in order, but instead of having two sets of parentheses, they just put one set around the middle. So that would be associative. And then what did they do? They added the 2 plus 3 because it's in parentheses. They got 5, and then they just added everything together. That's just addition. There's no property names for those. So that's how you can see the commutative and the associative property kind of in examples. It's hard to show the identity property. You'll notice that didn't show up on this page, but knowing that the additive identity is 0 is the main takeaway for that property.